York Jets first round selection, fullback, Roger Vick, Texas A&M.
What's going on, everybody? Sandy, Drew, Pookie back at it again for another episode of Splitting Uprights. It's been a while since the gang's been back together, so let's find out how the boys been doing. I'm going to start with my best and worst of the weekend. Fellas, the best of the best of the best. Manchester United held to a draw yesterday, 2-2 to Southampton. Leicester City lose in stunning fashion, 4-1 to Bournemouth to keep Chelsea afloat in the Champions League race. Actually keeps them in third. I don't know what I'm saying about a float. But the best of the best of the best is I found out my longtime celebrity crush, Katie Nolan, drinks my favorite beer, Shiner Bock. This is going back a while back, but I just saw this on a video the other day, and I could not be more thrilled to see that. I was just so happy. More happy than I should have been, but hey, I mean, come on. And it's good that I was that happy because my worst Saturday, my beloved Chelsea were blanked 3-0 by Sheffield United at Bramall Lane in a game that would have seen us go 4 points clear in the Champions League race. Hey, but we're playing Norwich right now. Should be an easy dub. Thoughts and prayers going to the boys. Pookie, what's going on with you?
Well, I started seeing a personal trainer. That's my best of the weekend. She's been kicking my ass pretty hard, so I've been working a little bit, doing my thing. And my worst of the weekend, I was watching this video because if you don't know me, I always like to watch political philosophy videos, and and they were talking about Marxism, so you already know that I'm like heated about that. And this one guy said, and I quote, that there should be a 100% inheritance tax. And I'm like, what the fuck? How is that even, like, conceptually there? Like, 100% inheritance tax? Or does that just defeat the entire purpose of the nuclear family unit? Like, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I just found that to be pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, save that for another episode, Pookie. We can go political philosophy all day long. You and I had a similar professor in college about this. Take that, Drew. I bet you don't talk about Marxism today. No one's talking about Marxism today on the radio. We're the only ones.
We are the only Marxist radio show in the South.
Oh, God. All right, fellow marksman, what are you up to, Drew?
Let's see. My best directly correlates with Sandy's worst.
Oh, man.
Sheffield 3-0. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I did not watch a single minute of the game, but to see them come out, I'm full on Sheffield. I'm ready for them to make a push to that number 5 seed. I think they're 5 points behind, I believe. It's either 5 or 4 points now. You know, they have a tough game against the team that Sandy's best lost. Leicester. They have a tough game there, but I think the last 2 they should win. So hopefully they come out. I'll be watching those games, down the stretch. But my worst, this would have been my best. But they criminally rated 2 stars on the Madden reveal so far. Aaron Rodgers and Saquon Barkley do not deserve an 89 overall. They're both 90s, and that's my worst. How can you rate the best running back and probably the top 3 quarterback, maybe 4 or 5, depending on kind of where you rank Lamar, an 89 overall? Like, it's just but that leads us right into, you know what time it is.
It's in the game.
Like I said, we are going to talk about it this week with Madden coming out. So far, we've had 499s revealed. We had Mahomes and C-Mac, of course. as well as Aaron Donald and Stephen Gilmore on the defensive side of the ball, which last year Madden started doing more realistic ratings, meaning not everyone was going to get a 90. There weren't going to be, 9 players on a team that are 90 overall. They only hand out so many 99s as well as 90s. But how the hell do you not rank Michael Thomas breaking the receptions record a 99? He's a 98 overall. He's tied with D-Hop at the top of the receiver rankings. You've got Tyreek Hill up there. OBJ's a 91. It's some of these rankings are crazy to me because there's some people who shouldn't be high, and then there's some people that shouldn't be low, and they didn't do a great job in my opinion, but it is based off of everything that happened last year. Like Quentin Nelson is a 94 overall. Sandy, who is the best O-lineman in the NFL right now?
Quentin Nelson.
He shouldn't be a 94 overall. I don't know if he's the highest ranked because I haven't seen them all. But it's some of these rankings are just criminal. But I think also I think we're so used to a different style of it. But like as in everyone's going to get a high grade because that's how they've always been. But something else that they added new in the past, whenever you scouted rookies in fantasy, like dynasty leagues or whatever, you would hit the button 3 times and it'd give you like, this is what his best at, this is what his third best stat is at, and they give you a grade. Apparently now they have a whole scouting system with like the Spark rating that they give in high school usually, as well as giving you more in-depth details on how to scout, what they have at certain positions. So they really went into depth on that, which is really cool. Being someone that does play Dynasty a lot, it's something that I'm, super interested in, and I'm glad they added to the game because, in my opinion, that whole thing was boring where you just press square 3 times to get it done as fast as possible. Now you get a real in-depth look at their Spark rating, kind of these different things like that. So there's a lot of big news in Madden this week. I think it comes out in about a month and a half. I think it's like 42 days away from today. So, once it comes out, I'm getting it day one, baby.
Pookie, talk to me, man. So I love Christian McCaffrey. I do not have a problem with him being 99, but I have a hard time believing that he's 10 points greater than Saquon Barkley.
If Saquon Barkley is I guess the athletic phenomenon that Christian McCaffrey, everyone thinks Christian McCaffrey is, because McCaffrey is a good runner, but he's most known for being a pass catcher. And in today's league, pass catching running backs are valued a lot higher than a power runner or someone that is more of an inside the tackle sort of guy like Saquon Barkley. Not that Saquon can't catch passes or catch screens or anything. He's just not quite in the same league as McCaffrey. I do take offense to him being ranked so much lower than McCaffrey because Saquon Barkley, he's just as versatile. It's just people don't give him the credit because of the injuries and him being more of an actual running back versus a 3-down pass catcher back.
Yeah, I think he's being punished for the offensive line not being as good. And you're right, Pookie. I think the way that the offense was centered around Christian McCaffrey last year allowed him to make more plays than Barkley would have had a chance to make. And that's only going to increase this year with Joe Brady taking over that offense. I don't know what Barkley would do if he was put in that sort of offense. He can catch out of the backfield. I don't think his hands are as good as McCaffrey's. But as far as physical attributes go and what we've seen him do, Drew, he's just not 10 points less than Christian McCaffrey. Again, I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey shouldn't be a 99. I'm just saying Barkley should be higher. Drew, is Barkley the second highest running back rated on Madden?
No, he's not. I mean, there's others that are on there too. I don't have the list. I'll look for real fast one.
Ahead of him is Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, and I think right below him is Josh Jacobs.
Oh.
I will say this though. You have to understand that these initial rankings are based off of last season. Saquon was hurt most of the year, came back, he had a couple of good games towards the end of the year, but the first couple of games he was back, he really wasn't himself. Derrick Henry blew up last year, especially the second half of the year. So these rankings are just initially based off of what happened at the end of last season. They do weekly updates, I believe, or a couple like a once or month or something type updates where McCaffrey wasn't a 99 to start last year. He ended the year as a 99. I could see that happening where Saquon's going to probably go up to 95, I believe, through the year. Because he's just that good. He just last year, same with A-Rod, he didn't have a great season last year. He didn't throw the ball as much as we're used to seeing. That's probably why they gave him an 89, as well as him being just a little bit older. So the initial – everyone gets pissed off of these initial rankings, but you just have to remember it's based off of last season, what they did last year. And if we're being honest, Saquon wasn't the best running back last year. He wasn't a top 5 running back besides for 2 games out of the year. So it's just kind of one of those things. But yes, things will change throughout the year. We'll be talking about different ratings towards the end of the year.
It better. He's the second best back in the league, unless you consider him better than McCaffrey. I'm telling you right now. I don't. Okay, I just want to clarify. Y'all said Derrick Henry is rated above Saquon Barkley right now.
I have the list right now. Apparently, it has Saquon on this list as a 91, but I've seen in multiple lists him as an 89. But it has Henry, Chubb, and Zeke. You have to understand Henry and Chubb led the league in rushing. Well, Henry was number 1, but Chubb was number 2. Zeke's a 92. Then Dalvin Cook's a 91. Aaron Jones is a 90. Joe Mixon, 89. Josh Jacobs, 88, and Kamara, again, another running back who's probably a top 5 guy, just was injured last year, a bunch of the year. He's at an 88. So these rankings, again, are just initial rankings off of what happened last year.
Yeah, I don't want to speak out against Joe Mixon. We've seen what happens when you get into confrontations with him on camera. Man. I mean, that makes sense. It's just like if we're going to base someone's ratings initially off how they did last year, it's like it doesn't represent like the other factors that are involved in your production, like how good your team is, especially as a running back. That position is as much predicated on how everyone else on your team is doing as any other position in the league. So
if you're fantasy draft,
I guess we'll wait and see. I think that's maybe it adds fuel to Saquon's game. But I got to tell you, though, the most disrespectful ranking by far, Drew mentioned it, is Aaron Rodgers. That is – call the damn Justice Department. Like, what? An 89 for that guy? He's one of the most talented players to ever play the game, and he can still play when he needs to.
100%. I'm looking at the rookie running back rankings as well right now. Can you guess who the number 1 or the highest overall rookie is? I'll give you all one chance each.
That's tough. Pookie, you want to take a shot?
I'm going to say DeAndre Swift.
Sandy?
I mean, his pick – hold up. There are two I had on my mind. It's not going to be Dobbins. It's the kid. Oh, my goodness. Who is it, Drew?
J.K. Dobbins, the 75 overall.
Okay.
DeAndre Swift and Clyde Laird's, whatever his extra last name is, they're 74s, and then Jonathan Taylor's a 73 overall. So there you go. Well, you know what? Another thing is crazy. We talked about the rookies last week. Joe Burrow and Henry Ruggs are so far the highest rated rookies that I've seen at a 76 overall, which is crazy to me to think that the number 1 overall pick is the same rating as the first wide receiver taken up. But I've seen Chase Young potentially at an 80 overall. So just watch out there because I think he's the most talented player in this draft, and Madden's going to reflect that.
I'm going to kind of go back a step really quick and just ask one question. If you're in a fantasy draft and you're in a dynasty draft on Madden, and you need to pick a running back in this round, and Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are both off the board, and you're going to pick one of those two, which one do you pick?
Saquon.
Barkley.
That's what I was going to – but that's sort of weird that, like, if he's a higher rated player on somebody's draft board, then why isn't he higher in the ratings? Because most people, I think, would pick Barkley. So
I'm kind of with you, Pookie. I think it should be based on your attributes and how good we think you are. Some of it should have to do with production because the production doesn't lie to a certain extent. But for running backs especially, you can be great and suck. Like Cam Akers at Florida State was in a different year. He might have been taken a lot higher in this year's draft, but he played for a bad Florida State team, and it hurt his draft stock. He's a talented guy. So Derrick Henry's getting a lot of praise for his year that he had, but he doesn't do that if it's not with the Tennessee Titans. There isn't an offense in the league besides the Titans and the 49ers who would suit his ability. I could plug and play Barkley anywhere, in my opinion.
And speaking of attributes, okay. So out of the fastest quarterbacks ranked in Madden, the first one ranked is Lamar Jackson with a 95. Who is the second fastest quarterback? Without looking anywhere, who is the second fastest quarterback in Madden?
Kyler Murray I think is third though. I think there's someone above him.
Kyler Murray second. He has a speed rating.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You know who else is on that list? Marcus Mariota an 88 speed. I think he's number 4 on the list.
And Russell Wilson is not ranked in the top 5 or top 10.
I think Wilson is his pocket awareness is second to none, and he's very elusive. But when he gets into a full-out sprint, I don't think he's going to blow many people away. Like, honestly, I don't say this with any certainty, but I would almost take Joe Burrow in a dead-out sprint against Russell Wilson from my memory because Burrow's got some wheels on him. Drew, no?
I think you just like to suck his dick too much.
No, sir, because that's an LSU guy, and I'm a Razorback for life, so I don't do that.
Doesn't mean you like to nibble on something else every once in a while.
Just a little.
He's fucking fast. He tore Alabama with his legs.
Just a little.
Jalen Hurts is fast too.
Hey, you guys want to know what the rating is of Phillip Rivers, my quarterback next year? They got him at an 82.
A little high.
A little high, a little low, man, dude. He's like an 85 in my opinion. I think if you're gonna give, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I guess if you're gonna give Tommy B a 90 overall, it makes sense to give Phillip Rivers only an 82. But we didn't talk about Russell either. Russell's a 97. I know Sandy loved that rating.
I love it. He's getting his just rewards for being great, and he goes under the radar every year because of his own team. Even though they have a pretty good winning percentage, he just does what he has to do. And I've said this time and time again, I might as well have a streak of saying this every single episode we do. I think Russell Wilson is as valuable, if not more valuable, to his team than any person in the league is to their respective team. So.
Yeah, agreed.